And that's to point at an area in which this thing could have been improved. Gender imbalance. Of all the castes there, we are the only one. But you didn't say anything about it. Okay. Yeah. See, many problems of this world, in the age of over communication, can be simplified and addressed if you go back to first principles. And one of those first principles, the most important, is to wake up every day and say that, how can I be a better human being? I don't need to impress you by saying that the Civil War is the central issue of Nigeria's political history. And the attitude of Nigeria to that history, to Biafra, it will indicate the kind of nation that we are, whether we have improved, whether we have become better human beings or worse. I don't know, I'm sure people noted very recently, and it made my heart very glad. Danjuma was actually almost getting apologetic about his role in the Civil War in the recent past, saying that he directed his junior officers not to kill those people. Now, this attitude is drastically different from what he used to be before. He used to be chauvinistic and celebratory about it. But there is nothing to be celebratory about. If anybody is advocating for restitution or remedial action about Biafra, it's not the Southeast you are helping Nigeria. It is contradictory. It is contradictory to say that, for instance, or narrative, that the next Nigerian president should come from the Igbo. That is, you are not doing the Igbo a favor. It is Nigeria. How many things does Nigeria have left, right, to enact a sense of nationhood? And as I said, go back to first principles. If you are a father and one of your children is annoyed or rascally or whatever it is, what does a nice father do? You push him away? So these are the issues that I think today the handshake across the Niger, the relationship between the Southeast and Southwest, there is no thread that binds that relationship meaningfully together than the action of one man, and that was Adekunle Fajuyi. You see, it shows you the meaning of powerful symbols. Right? The defeat of Biafra or whatever is not to be celebrated, nor criminalized. Far from it. And this is one of the reasons we are incapable of writing our history. Because we are going to run into problems. Everybody can write about the American Civil War today. Because the issues are clear. You could see the demarcation between right and wrong. And those who prevailed, Abraham Lincoln, you can't do wrong if you are fighting slavery. So it ended on the moral victory for the U.S., unlike our own. Our own ended on the philosophy of might is right, the law of the jungle. And we can do many things, we can do things about it. We don't need to be apportioning blames when we seek to improve ourselves. Again, let me tell you something that I'm not pandering to it. People seem to miss one very crucial element about the coup of January 15, 1966. There is no way you can have a caste of those coup leaders unless they presume they were acting on behalf of Nigeria, not on behalf of Egypt. It is otherwise illogical. Look at this guy. Huh? Imagine I get 5 other Yoruba people. I come on stage and I announce something that is as a result of our own conspiracy. The logic collapses from the first. It is illogical. So this idea of saying that an Igbo was not. It was badly managed. It was a mess. Like so many things about, Nigeria's history. Professor Patutomi has mentioned some of those things that will help the process of healing. The greatest statement made by General Yakubu Gowon was what he said about no victor, no vanquished, but they didn't follow through. If he did, we won't have the same, but we will not be having this conference. You see, the problem we have with this kind of conference is that we are clapping with one hand. So, but as I said, because of my training, I want to look at things less from the perspective of apportioning blames. But every person has the element of good in himself, as well as bad. Professor Tony told us about a Garuba Oshishi, right? Who took them into his house. Otherwise, who knows what will have happened to them. That man is not from the East. There was a Yoruba man who was flogged in Surulere in 1966 at the outbreak of the First World War because he was shielding an Igbo person. All of these kind of things, issues, we should look for more of them. You see, Nigeria needs to write its history. And the reason so far you cannot write it is the conflicting perspectives and inability to come with truth. Right. People are running away. So let us, those of us who are so trained, give ourselves that task, of in what ways can we write Nigeria's history as a task. The reason that is militating against it is the civil war and the perceptions of it. It was not a glorious war. It should be condemned through and through. And I find it difficult, as I said. Look at the series of events from 1966 to 70. There's something insensitive about calling some people rebels. That history is not the history of rebels or rebellion, not at all. At the other side, look, Sonny Bello was the principal ADC to General Aguiyi. He was there in Ibadan when he was killed, and he did one thing to the limit of his capability. He was the one who shielded Colonel Madiebo also to escape. Well, he organized that place where they were in Ibadan. He organized the escape. So there are many of these things that we can talk about. That I think we should. Let us confront the ghosts that is haunting us and we are running away from. There is no way to build a country. But of course, some people, you can only do so much. You can't convince Anybody who has made up his mind, there's a limit to which you can do. You can only try. Try on the basis that, okay, look, I don't see what you have done necessarily as evil. Maybe you made a mistake. Obviously, if the July 1966 was responding to January, then it was a mistaken reaction. They did what they did because they believed that January 15 was a conspiracy of evil against them. That's the only you can justify it. That is a mistake. Yeah. So what we are telling us that if you now know that it is not Igbo conspiracy, you will not have done it. Yeah. You see, that is the best way to proceed, the only meaningful way to proceed for Nigeria. We've got to reach these common grounds before we are human beings, before we are Nigerians, before we are Igbo, before we are Nigerians, we are first and foremost human beings. And if each and every one of us wakes up every day thinking of how to be a better human being, all these problems we are talking about will be a matter of details. But because we are unable to do that, we don't trust one another. We are suspicious, almost paranoid. What is restructuring? Who among the present set of leaders in the North is more northern than Ahmadu Bello? You've got to retrace yourself back. Restructuring is not for me to cheat the North. It's not because I hate anybody. There have been no set of Nigerian actors better in any sense than those who gave Nigeria the federalism of the independence constitution. As this way, Awolowo, Ahmadu Bello, and the British colonialists that gave back to Nigeria in the first place. Those were the people, that was what they gave you. And it was not a Constituent Assembly of 1 year. It took them years, 10 years, to trash it out. The commitment and the knowledge, they know Nigeria more than any of us. And as the legitimate, and they have the legitimacy of their people more than anybody after them. In fact, anybody who went to bed in October 1960 and woke up today and see the chaos we're in, the question the person will ask me, how do you expect to succeed? Was this because on that place you have a template that was predicated on logic, on tolerance, on give and take, recognition of attitudes and things like that. And then you had an accident. Because the military coup in 1966 was an accident. And then you now chose that accident to be the norm on which you erect your house. How would that work? So, but let us also learn to be, the onus is going to be on all of us. And those of us who are getting old and things like that, we have to develop, and who God has provided means of communication with people. We've got to develop skills of tolerance, communication. I have a friend, a big top man, an Igbo man. So at the height of during the last election, he sent to me a breakdown of the population ratio of Lagos. He said the Igbo 40%, Yoruba 30%. So I said, please, don't send it to any Yoruba man again. You are sending, even if it is true, you are sending it to... But that is typical, that's another issue, The last time it came up, it was, I think Chief Jim Mobodo was there. It was about this cross-carpeting thing. My father was one of the 6 that was affected. It is in his autobiography what took place. There was nothing like cross-carpet. My dad contested as an independent candidate from Ekiti, not NCNC. The other 6 contested on the platform of IPP, Ibadan People's Party. So it is, but the significant thing was that despite something that is my own personal history, Chief Mobodo refused to agree. Well, so ladies and gentlemen, I can see. Thank you very much.